in the world. So we please give a nice round of applause to Hannah Landau. ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, first a big shout out to my pickball buddies who came here. Appreciate that. And everyone else that came and for all the guests. Anyway, it's really nice of you to all be here. So as Jack said, my name is Hannah Landau, and I want to share 3 things with you about myself. First thing is I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and number 2 is I was raised by a single mom. And my mom's name was Elaine, but everyone called her E. And she was a very loud, very funny Jewish lady, and a big personality. Number 3 is I'm dyslexic. So, and so inside my brain, everything's all scrambled, like words, letters, numbers, and all that. And in fact, I know I say the word dyslexic, and I'm not being funny. I know I'm not saying it right. So isn't it sort of crazy that they name this learning disability something I can't pronounce or spell? But back in the 60s, they had a whole different word for it. Stupid. So I didn't do well in school. I'm sure you didn't see that coming. And I remember it came to light in 2nd grade. 2nd grade was the first time we got a report card. And on my very first report card, I got a D in writing, reading, and spelling. The saddest part of the whole thing was I got an E for effort. So, anyway, what monster gives a 7-year-old a D? So anyway, my mom jumped in, and she's like, you know what, we're going to do this as a team. And so at night, we worked on the first quiz. Now, the very first quiz that we worked on was days of the week, in 2nd grade. Anyway, so we're working, everything's going great, and I'm even getting the tricky Wednesday right, and I feel pretty good. I take the test, and it goes well. And I come home, and my mom's like, so how'd you do? And I said, well, I aced it, Mom. And my mom's like, God, I'm so proud of you. I mean, you really, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, and I went to school the next day, and I got my paper back, and I look at it at the very top, and there's a giant F at the top. I'm like, how did I get an F? And then I look on the side, and there's 7 circles. The very first letter, I did not capitalize the day, the days of the week.
Oh.
Anyway, it's sad. Anyway, so I went home distraught, and my mom's like, how'd you do? I didn't say a word. I just handed her the piece of paper. And my mom looks at it, and she's really quiet, and she just finally looks up at me, and she's like, Carl, your teacher is the biggest asshole in the world.
Like a good Jewish mom.
I've never loved or admired my mom. Anyway, that's my mom. My mom was really big on shopping, like for clothes, but not so much for herself. She was really into, shopping with me. Well, like here I am, a teenage boy. And like, I didn't need anything. I had my Cleveland Cavaliers t-shirt that I wore every day in junior high. I'm not making this up. I wore it every single day in junior high. My mom hand washed it at night, and it was literally a rag. Anyway, and I was so dedicated to the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is early 70s. They were the worst team in basketball. So imagine the Sacramento Kings, but worse. Anyway, just to show you my dedication. No.
Oh, no! Don't take it off. No, it's a strip show. Mike be sick.
Okay, so my mom, she always went shopping on Saturday at the maid company. And my mom's like, do you want to go shopping? I'm like, no. I'm good. Anyway, but my mom, she never paid any attention to anything I ever said. And so I remember one time she came back with this wild outfit, and it's like bell-bottom pants, but the elephant bell-bottoms with the giant, thing at the bottom, and then on top, a navy jacket. And that was my ensemble. And, and I'm like, no. And my mom's like, you know what, Carl? You need to dress sharp like Sammy Davis Jr. I sort of wish I had that navy jacket. Anyway, things turned around for me at school. Amazingly, senior year, I got straight A's. I had never gotten A's before, got straight A's. And I was a club reporter, and then I became the school newspaper editor. And I wanted to become the greatest sports journalist of all time. And so I applied to the University of Wisconsin School of Journalism. And so I applied, and I got, one day I came home and there's an envelope. It was on the credenza. So everything of value in our house was on the credenza. And for some reason, we always said the credenza. I don't know why. And does anyone even know what credenza is?
No.
Some old people over here do. Anyway. It's a fancy cabinet. Someone in my family told me it was from China. And back in the day, that was a good thing. One day I came home from school. There's a big envelope on the credenza. It's facing me. My mom's standing next to the credenza. And so I had a really good feeling because it was the big envelope. So I'm like, I think things are good. I open it up, and it is an acceptance letter. I have been accepted to go to University of Wisconsin School of Journalism. So I'm laughing, I'm joking, I'm singing, I'm dancing. Finally, my Sammy Davis Jr. moment. And I look at my mom, not so much. No singing, no dancing, no nothing. And I was really confused by this whole thing. I mean, didn't she understand what a big moment this is for everyone? And all she says is, you're not going there. Anyway, I'm really confused, so I took the acceptance letter, and I thought if she could just read it, she would understand what's going on here. Anyway, she reads it, she's like, I read it, you're not going there. I'm like, Mom, why am I not going to the University of Wisconsin? And she's like, well, we can't afford you going out of state. You're going to a state school. And I'm like, I think for a second, and I'm like, I asked her, Mom, why did you ever let me apply? And she says, I didn't think you'd get accepted. Anyway, that's my mom. Okay, so a great day happened in high school. One day, 10th grade, I'm in junior high, and I'm in the school cafeteria with 5 of my goofy little 10th grade friends. And we're eating tater tots and all that. And one of my friends whips out this Penthouse magazine. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I've seen Playboy that everyone read for the articles. This brought everything to a whole new level. And this was actually the premiere issue of Penthouse. And I don't know if you remember, but they actually called it the Pussy War. Okay, and there was a war between Playboy and Penthouse who could show more skin. I was totally in on this war. So immediately, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get my own Penthouse magazine. So Operation Get a Penthouse is in full effect. Okay, I totally lucked out. That Saturday, I went to local Marriott to a bar mitzvah. And I'm downstairs in the basement and using the bathroom. And I come out and I see this big vending machine, and at the very top is a Penthouse magazine in the vending machine. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So Operation Get a Penthouse in effect. And so I came back next Saturday fully prepared. And I go in the Marriott, there's a family, a couple other people like sitting there. And I wait them out, everyone leaves, and I go at like that vending machine. And I'm like, okay, Penthouse is $3.50, that's 14 quarters. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I hit E2, Penthouse comes down, I have it. I'm out of the Marriott within 1 minute. This is like unbelievable. Okay, so and I'm driving home. I had thought of everything because my mom played canasta every Saturday afternoon. So I walk into the apartment. I take about 3 steps into the apartment, and I hear, "Carl, is that you? Carl, come and say hi to the girls." Holy shit! The canasta game is in our apartment. Anyway, so I put it in my jacket and I walk over. Hi ladies, hi ladies. I go into my room shaking like a leaf, and I realized no one saw anything. I totally got away with it. Or so I thought. Okay, so 4 months goes by. I have a steady date at the Marriott, once a month, getting the Penthouse. I know what day the Penthouse comes out. I know the vending machine guy. I know everything. Anyway, and I'm in the apartment, and I just walk by my mom, and she just really casually just says, "Wouldn't it be easier to get a subscription?" I'm like, what? She's like, "Wouldn't it just be easier, to get a subscription?" And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, mothers know everything apparently. So I gave my mom $24 in cash, and she wrote a check. And I'll never forget to this day, as she's doing it, she's like, "I cannot believe I'm writing a check to Penthouse magazine." And that's my mom. Hannah Landau, ladies and gentlemen.